Hi, welcome back to another one of my videos. So when a box like this comes through the post, you know you've got to be excited. And if you've seen the thumbnail, you already know what's inside here. But this is possibly one of the most exciting guns I've ever had. But seriously, I grew up in an age where I used to watch films like Platoon, Hamburger Hill, all these kind of things. And this was the most iconic gun. Do you know what? Let's stop talking. Let's open this box and let's get this thing out. And there it is. This is the M16 VN A1 CYMA CM.009B. And that's a mouthful. But this basically is what you know as the M16. M16 is a classic American firearm, if you're not aware of it, used primarily in the Vietnam War. This is the version 1, which is different from later versions where they have more tactical rails on the front and it's easier to adapt. This one it's a basic form and it looks amazing, doesn't it? Excuse the stand. Let's have a look at this gun. Let's see what you think, and we'll go from there. This is a second-hand gun, so it doesn't come with a box. I haven't got all the bits and pieces. What it did get with this is the gun. I got 4 magazines, which are the 20-round magazines. You can use something like this, which is an M4 magazine, but it's just not. Yeah, it's just not quite right. So we've got those. I got the sling, and I got this amazing beauty. And this one cost me £170, £170 UK. So it's about the sort of same, $180. This gun retails around about 200-ish at the time of filming, £200, $220. This is the premium version. So premium version means you get a MOSFET on there, which is a non-programmable MOSFET, and you get an electronic trigger, and you get a quick change spring. For 200 quid, that's a lot. Let's take a look at this thing. This is a near perfect replica of the real steel, in design only, not in function because it's an AEG. The M16 replaced the M14, which was used by the US Marines in the Army services. The M14 had a stock wooden body, which could warp in jungle warfare and was also quite long and heavy. This one boasts a full metal construction with some polymer parts and is great for either gameplay or anyone who wants to use this for reenactment. This is the Platinum version with the V2 gearbox. This features the ball bearing spring guide, full steel tooth rack, a CNC aluminium steel piston head, steel gears, 8mm ball bearing bushings, high torque motor, the CYMA Platinum MOSFET, which is a non-programmable MOSFET, electric trigger, which is a really snappy trigger, and a quick change spring release. So let's have a look around this thing. So it weighs 2.49 kilograms with a total length of 99 centimeters. The gun, let's take it off this and let's lose this stand. Is remarkably light and incredibly tactile. It feels really nice. I have to say I'm in love with this gun. I love the design, I love the look of it, so I'll try not to be too biased. That said, you have the fixed stock to the back. The stock is a bit plasticky. That said, I've got this stuff which is like an insulation, which I might just line the inside in there. It's got loads of space, and so I don't think it's going to be a problem for batteries, but also might make it a little bit less. Anyway, you've got the rubber buttstock. Now this one doesn't have a trapdoor on there because obviously this is the A1 version. Later versions did have that. And that was an interesting point because on the first versions they said this was a self-cleaning gun. You didn't need to clean it. And unfortunately that wasn't true. A lot of GIs in the Vietnam War early stages were found dead with the guns disassembled where they're trying to unjam it. Unfortunately that was the case, but then they realised that that was the situation and they adapted it. So let's just have a look through this. So again, on this side you've got your fire select, which is a single, semi and full automatic. You've also then got your ping pong paddle, which is for releasing the bolt. Moving forward, you've got a metal A-ring. This is all metal on here. This is obviously a fixed handle with your two sight aperture. Your two sights on there, you have a small aperture and then a larger one. And these are just basically a flip over. So nowadays you can buy these if you want to put them on your gun and make them a bit more, but this is obviously the original more design. This is fixed, as I say, to the main part of the body. Going forward, you've got your wooden stock. I wouldn't have thought so. You've got your polymer stock, and inside you can see the gas tube as well, which is a mock tube. It's just a solid metal. It doesn't actually react in the same way, but it does look fantastic. You've got your ghost sights on here. This has got aperture for windshield on the back, but this one is fixed on the front with your V-side front style. It's a metal outer barrel going onto your front metal CNG M16 VN 3-prong flash hider. That's a mouthful, isn't it? You've got you've got your sling mounts on the front and on the fixed stock, and then also you've got a bayonet lug on there. This isn't easy to find. This isn't obviously period, but it'll give you a good indication of how that looks as well. Looks pretty tough, isn't it? This is a training knife, but yeah, no, it still looks pretty damn cool, I think. Let's take that off before anyone gets too excited about that. So coming back on this side, on top here we've got the release. This gives you access to your rotating hop up, and then obviously your dust cover on there as well. It does do the thing, so when you hit the paddle on this side, it jumps back again. Let me see if I can make that a bit clearer for you. I know that's not exactly a blowback, but it's still kind of fun, isn't it? It's still a nice feature. You've got your assist here, so this is your sling release. So once you fired the gun, if you press this, it's going to take the tension out of your spring. Obviously that is a release for on the real gun. I think this was added because the Marines wanted it rather than the Army. I think that was a Marine version. I'm sure some of you who know better than I do will let me know. And then obviously all the same. The gun has very little markings on it. What I mean by that is that you do have a serial number just here, but there is no other authentic markings that you would get on a normal M16. I think the Colt version, which is a gas blowback, does have those on there, but this one doesn't. That said, if I'm going to get one of these guns, I really want a gas blowback because of the way it functions and because of the slight recoil you get on there. But for £200 with a MOSFET and an electric trigger, it's not a bad purchase. The interesting thing on here as well is that you can tell it's the A1 because the dust covers in the way. The magazine release here doesn't have a shroud around it, which they did later on. Also, you have the brass deflector that goes here, which is like a little piece of metal that comes out, which takes the bullet away from the firer. That obviously is not present on the A1. That was, I think, on the A2 or A3 version. And as I say, this is a special feature as well. What can you say? I think it looks awesome. I know the sling isn't quite period. I know they didn't have these parts on there, but it was as close as I could get. And I still think it looks and feels pretty incredible. So the magazines, as I say, magazines you can buy are 20 round magazines. It's either this one, which is the high cap, which has the winding ball at the bottom, or you can buy your mid caps, which obviously have no wheel, and then you can put it into there. Helps to load that. Just complete the look. As I say, you can use something like that. It's just not quite right, is it? It's not accurate. I do believe that they did actually have larger magazines in the Vietnam War, but it was quite rare. Most GIs would have run with a regular 20 round. I like it. I have to say, I think it's awesome. It feels good. There's a little bit of play in the stock on the front there, but actually in the stock, sorry, in the hand grip. But it's not much. I love the fact that they've got the gas tube running through, and even the seams on there are fairly good. There's not too much of a seam on there, is there? It feels very tactile. Maybe because of the thick stock, it seems to tuck under the arm really nicely, and I don't know. I don't want to dote about the gun too much, but I like it. The other thing that stands this out as being an A1 is with the pistol grip, which is it's got a nice grooving on there, so it's quite comfortable. In fact, it is very comfortable to use. So the thing that makes the A1 interesting is that the pistol grip is slightly different from later versions. It is checkered and it is very comfortable use. They did put a part on here just to separate your fingers a bit more and give you a bit more leverage. But actually this is remarkably comfortable and feels very balanced. I have to say the gun feels... The gun does feel very balanced. It is a metal trigger, and you've got a metal trigger guard down the bottom here. Yeah, so I like the older version. It feels right. What do you think? Okay, so this thing has a MOSFET in there with the electric trigger. The electric trigger meaning that you're going to get a better response, hopefully, than a normal. With the MOSFET, it isn't programmable, from what I can understand. And the way to get into it is that you have to use a flathead screwdriver to open the bolt here, the button here. One of the good things about this gun is that it has loads and loads of space in the butt. What I would say is that be careful with this screw, because this screw goes in an angle kind of like this, going down to the stock. And if you undo it fully, it's a real pain to get back in again. So what you do is you lift the butt up and take it back, and then you have your mini adapter there. The batteries I'm going to use are crane stock. Actually, just before I do that, let's just check something. So I have a selection of batteries here that people might use. So these are your normal NIM batteries. Again, let's have a look at that. That's straight in there. That's not a problem. We've got, well, they're going to be fine, aren't they? Look, I can get my whole hand down there. I have got this, which is an AK battery, which goes on top of an AK. You get the idea. Pretty much anything's going to go in there. So let's put these things on. This is a 911. You hear that beep? That's obviously the MOSFET that I'm working on there. Put that back in. So if you want to get to the quick change spring, what you've got is, if you take this completely off, there is another screw just in there that holds the stock on. If you undo that, you've then got this one bolt, which is an Allen key, which you get with the gun. You undo that and your spring comes straight out. So it really is quite an easy, not maybe the quickest of quick change springs, but again, it does work. There you go. So this magazine is empty. This gun has no bullets in there. It's just fire in a safe direction. It is safe. I'm going to keep the magazine out. So let's have a look at the single fire. Have a look at the trigger on there. So the trigger's got quite a long play on it, but actually once it hits the wall, it's very, very quick to reload and to go again. Look at this. That's pretty quick. And then on full auto, I don't recommend dry firing your gun, but that was a lot of fun. I can't wait to get this thing out and test it and see how we do. Nice. Gun is in safe. Okay. I think the thing to do then is to get outside, because I really want to go and play with it, and to run this through the chrono and then do some firing on it. Because of the fact that it's got 6.03 in a barrel, and I think it's 20 odd on the outer barrel, it is also 14 millimeter anti-clockwise screw. So if you want to change this flash hider, you can, and put a silencer on there or something that you want to do. As I say, so this gun is good for forest or for close quarters. Maybe it's a little bit longer for close quarters, but it's still cool. Let's take it out, let's test it, let's see how it goes, and then come back and go for conclusions. Okay, welcome to the outside world. Today is a fairly miserable and grey day, as you can see. It's taken me nearly 3 months to film this. I've just not had the weather at all. So, well, this is about as good as it's going to get. So what we're going to do is we're going to test this on the chronograph. Let's see what it tests at using 0.5 BBs. Do single shot, and then we'll do the rounds per minute, and then after that we'll see if we can do some target work. It is pretty cold. It's just above freezing right now, so it won't affect the gun, but it might affect me shaking quite a lot. Bear that in mind. Okay, FPS on 0.2s. Okay, C full auto. Nice. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Rounds per second were fairly impressive. It is a joy to shoot. It feels really nice, actually. The trigger is so light, it's really responsive. I'm enjoying it. And that padding in the back has really helped the the battery to stop wobbling. So, so it sounds better, I think, less tinny. My chicken was shut up. Cockerel. Okay, so I think let's do some target practice on some cans. Let's see how we do with range. I have put a GoPro or a run cam on there. I'm hoping it's straight, but there's nowhere really to mount this, so it's going to be really hit and miss. But hopefully we'll get some kind of shot so you can see what I'm doing. I've then got a target which we'll whack the target a bit and see what the spread is, and just have some fun. Okay. I can tell you from the start, that is shooting so straight. It's going exactly where I want it to. This thing's a monster. Let's see how we do with the shooting. Just to give you an idea of distance. So one of the reasons why the Vietnam War was lost is because it was one of the first filmed wars, I think. So everyone got to see it. And I think people in America lost heart when like the Tet Offensive happened. So I think TV was the big problem for this gun. So I think it's time to repay this gun by getting its own back on TV. So you can see here my daughter's Toshiba telly. She very kindly said I could just borrow just to show you what TV looks like. What she didn't know is we've got another idea for it. Single shot. Okay, let's see what full auto does. I hope she doesn't notice. Oops. Hi, welcome back. Okay, so we've had a look around the gun. We've taken outside and done the chrono. We've done some shooting. If I have to give my conclusions on this one and my feel on there, I'm going to say it's absolutely wonderful because I want CYMA to sponsor me and send me loads of their guns like these, and I can play with them. Realistically, I'm going to be really honest. I love it because of what it is, and I love this era of type of gun. I realise that maybe the older type of gun isn't everyone's cup of tea, and I get that, but I do, and I do like it. I don't like that it sounds, even when you shoulder it, that doesn't sound great for me, but that's a small price to pay. For the money you're paying to get a gun like this, with the trigger, with the MOSFET, with the furniture and the way it looks, and it being a metal gun, Guys, come on, this is an awesome bit of kit. It's really cool. I really love it, and I love the way it looks. I enjoyed the fire in it. I enjoyed playing with it. Actually, it wasn't a kick, but it was close for an AEG. I don't know. Would I buy it? Hell yes. You're not going to say that. I love it. I really like it, and I'm really pleased this is part of my my collection. Thank you very much for watching another one of my videos. It's been amazing for you guys to come along. You guys keep coming back and watching my videos and leaving wonderful comments, mostly, and thumbs up. So thank you for the thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. Again, it's a small channel, but it's people like you that make this channel amazing. Thank you so much. I just play with guns and you guys seem to watch it and like it, so thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because it makes YouTube think I'm a wonderful guy, and I'm really not. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.